It happens silently. You check your bank app on a Tuesday morning, and the balance is already lower than you expected. An auto-renewed subscription here. A quick tap of the credit card there. A bill you forgot was coming. You work 40 hours a week, maybe more. You make decent money. But somehow, by the end of the month, the math just doesn't seem to add up. We live in a modern financial culture that teaches us the only way to get ahead is to hustle harder, earn more, and eventually display that success to the world. We treat money primarily as something to be consumed. But across the world, traditional Japanese financial habits approach money through a completely different lens. It is not about earning a massive six-figure salary or performing wealth for your neighbors. It is about awareness, intentionality, and creating a lifestyle that stops your money from quietly disappearing. Today, we are looking at 8 Japanese money habits that build quiet wealth. These are not get-rich-quick secrets. They are calm, proven principles that will help you take back control, plug the invisible leaks, and finally keep the money you work so hard to earn. Let's be honest. If you feel like managing money has gotten significantly harder over the past few years, you are not imagining it. The cost of living has crept up, making us feel like we are running on an endless financial treadmill. When we face this anxiety, the standard modern advice is almost always the same. Hustle more or find a way to significantly increase your income. But earning more does not fix a broken system. If your financial bucket has holes in it, pouring more water into it will not keep it full. It just leaks faster. This is how the trap of lifestyle inflation catches so many hard-working people. That is why we are turning to Japanese money habits today. We are not doing this to become perfectly frugal minimalists. Nor are we trying to romantically copy another culture. Instead, we are using these timeless principles as a lens to diagnose the silent leaks in our own lives, shifting our focus from the exhausting performance of looking wealthy to the deep peace of building actual, quiet wealth. In the West, we are often conditioned to view money primarily as a tool for display. Consumer culture thrives on our dissatisfaction, constantly whispering that what we have is never quite enough. This encourages a very loud, visible form of wealth, frequently built on a fragile foundation of hidden consumer debt. Traditional Japanese financial philosophy, however, centers around mindfulness, respecting your resources, and finding genuine contentment in the present. It is less about accumulating wealth for the sake of showing off, and more about directing your money deliberately. This shift in perspective is the very foundation of quiet wealth. It is the profound understanding that true financial security does not need to announce itself. It just needs to work. Point number 1. The art of financial clarity, Kakeibo. In our highly digitized world, money has become entirely invisible. You tap your phone, subscriptions renew in the background, and your bills are set to auto-pay. The visible cost of this extreme convenience is obvious. Your money quietly disappears by the end of the month. But the hidden cost is far more dangerous. You lose your connection to the value of your own labor. The psychological trap here is that digital convenience tricks your brain into thinking you are managing your money, when in reality, you are just passively watching it leave. This is where the Japanese concept of Kakeibo comes in. Often translated as a household financial ledger, Kakeibo is powerful not because paper is magical, but because it forces attention. It asks you to slow down the movement of your money long enough to actually see it. Pick your biggest suspected money leak, maybe dining out or online shopping, and track just that one category manually with a pen and a notebook. For 30 days, the simple act of writing it down completely changes how you interact with spending. Quiet wealth often begins when money stops being a blur. Awareness does not restrict your freedom. It simply gives your money a purposeful place to go. Point number 2. Respecting the resource. We are currently surrounded by a throwaway culture. We are constantly encouraged to upgrade our perfectly fine phones and replace last year's wardrobe. The visible cost is the continuous drain on your bank account to fund these constant upgrades. But the real hidden cost is much heavier. Every time you throw away something that still has utility, you are quite literally throwing away the hours of your life you worked to pay for it. The psychological trap is confusing the temporary thrill of buying something new with the actual fulfillment of using it. The Japanese philosophy of Matanai translates to a profound sense of regret concerning waste. It is a deep respect for the inherent value of objects. The practical system fix here is the use-it-up rule. Before you allow yourself to buy a replacement or a shiny upgrade, challenge yourself to fully exhaust the utility of the item you already own. Quiet wealth is not about having the ability to buy everything new. It is built on the quiet dignity of respecting what you already have. Point number 3. The accumulation of peace. Chokin, the standard modern approach to saving, is entirely backwards. We spend what we think we need and try to save whatever happens to be left. The visible cost is an empty savings account, but the hidden cost is the constant, low-grade anxiety that quietly dictates your life, the inability to leave a toxic job or the sheer panic of a sudden car repair. The psychological trap is a lie we all tell ourselves: I will finally start saving when I make more money. But without a system, more money just means more spending. The Japanese practice of chokin flips this narrative. It is the discipline of accumulating first. The practical system fix is simple but absolute. Automate a transfer to an invisible hard to access account the very morning your paycheck arrives, even if it is just $20 a week. Quiet wealth requires a buffer. A dedicated savings fund is not a restriction on your life. It is a quiet, sturdy wall between you and the financial emergencies of the world. Point number 4. The 80PHN-TRM Rule of Lifestyle. Harahachi-bu, modern financial culture, normalizes extreme lifestyle inflation. We expand our lives to consume exactly 100%, and often more, of what we earn. The visible cost is mounting consumer debt. The real hidden cost is the complete loss of your margin of safety. You become locked into a high-stress routine just to maintain your baseline existence. We fall into the psychological trap of believing that maximizing our spending will automatically maximize our happiness. There is a traditional Japanese principle called hara-hachi-bu, historically a dietary rule meaning to eat until you are 80% full applied to personal finances. It is a complete game changer. The system fix is to intentionally cap your lifestyle. Design a life that only requires 80% of your income to run, leaving the remaining 20% untouched for your future. In a world obsessed with having it all, enough is not a failure. Enough is the exact place where freedom begins. Point number 5. Ending financial comparison. Ubitori, because modern finance is so highly performative, we constantly see others upgrading their lives, and we immediately feel behind. The visible cost is spending money we do not actually have just to look the part. The hidden cost is the crushing weight of secret debt, and the emotional burnout of faking success. The psychological trap is comparing your messy financial reality to someone else's carefully curated highlight reel. The Japanese concept of ubitori translates to the idea that different flowers bloom at their own unique times. It is the absolute refusal to compare your journey to anyone else's. The system fix here is ruthless curation. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger your spending, automate your investments, and keep your financial progress strictly private. Quiet wealth is exactly that. Quiet money becomes remarkably lighter when it is no longer forced to prove your worth to strangers. Point number 6. Repairing instead of replacing kintsugi. This need for external perfection often extends to the things we own. When something breaks or shows slight wear, our immediate modern reflex is to throw it out and buy a replacement. The visible cost is thousands of dollars lost to continuous upgrades. The hidden cost is remaining trapped in an endless transaction loop, chasing the brief dopamine hit of buying something new to temporarily mask our financial anxiety. Consider kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. It treats breakage and repair as a valuable part of an object's history, rather than a flaw to be thrown away. The practical system fix is the 48 Hor repair rule. Before replacing any broken item, Force yourself to wait 2 days to actively see if it can be fixed. Quiet wealth is not the ability to buy everything new. It is the silent rebellion of finding enduring value in what is already yours. Point number 7. Embracing financial imperfection. Wabi-sabi, we often delay fixing our finances because we are waiting for the perfect moment. We tell ourselves we need a massive salary increase or zero debt before we can start investing. The visible cost is zero compound interest. The hidden cost is losing decades of exponential growth while waiting for a better time. The psychological trap is the all or nothing mindset, believing that if you can only save $50 a month, it is pointless, so you do nothing. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi is about finding beauty and value in the imperfect and incomplete. Applied to money, it is the antidote to financial paralysis. The system fix is to start investing and saving imperfectly. Today, set up a tiny, almost laughable automatic transfer. Quiet wealth is rarely built on perfect timing. It is built on imperfect, relentless consistency. Point number 8. Purpose-driven money. Ikigai. Finally, we must examine why we spend. Because modern work is exhausting, we spend heavily on convenience. Takeout, quick weekend escapes, and temporary comforts just to decompress. The visible cost is drained accounts. The real hidden cost is devastating. You are using your income to fund a lifestyle you desperately want to escape from, rather than building the life you actually want. The trap is confusing short-term relief with long-term fulfillment. Ikigai translates to your core purpose, your reason for waking up. The practical system fix is an alignment check. Look at your 3 biggest spending categories this month. Do they actually match your top 3 life priorities? If not, pivot. Stop funding the escape. Quiet wealth truly begins when your money stops being a temporary comfort and becomes a clear direction. Pause and pivot. Let's pause for a moment. Hearing all these concepts, it is very easy to assume that adopting Japanese money habits means living a life of extreme deprivation. It might sound like you have to become a strict minimalist, but that is completely missing the point. You do not need to blindly copy another culture. These principles simply offer a different lens. They are a tool to step off the modern treadmill of endless consumption and clean up your own financial systems. Quiet wealth is not about suffering today just to save $1 for tomorrow. It is about intentionally directing your money so it builds long-term peace instead of daily pressure. It is not loud. It just works. Action blueprint. So, how do we actually start? You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Here is your immediate, practical blueprint. First, apply the spirit of Kakeibo. Pull up your bank statement from the last 30 days. Do not judge your past choices, just observe them. Categorize your spending into strict needs, genuine wants, and silent leaks. Next, pick exactly 1 leak to close this week. Cancel that unused app or implement the 48-hour repair rule. Do not try to fix everything at once. Finally, apply Shoken. Take the exact dollar amount you just saved by plugging that 1 leak and set up an automatic transfer into an emergency fund or an investment account. Set this transfer to happen the very morning your paycheck arrives. Start small, start imperfectly, and let the system do the heavy lifting. Outro and disclaimer: we started today by looking at that familiar Tuesday morning anxiety, watching your bank balance silently disappear. But fixing this does not require earning a massive 6-figure salary. Japanese money habits are simply intentional tools that help you step off the treadmill of endless consumption. They remind us that living slightly below your means is not a punishment. It is the ultimate way to buy back your calmness. Quiet wealth is about building a foundation so strong and secure that it never needs to be loud. If this video helped you see your money differently, subscribe to the channel for more videos on quiet wealth, minimalist money habits, and financial systems that actually work. As a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and is not personal financial advice. Financial rules, taxes, pensions, and investment products vary widely by country. Always consider your own unique situation and speak with a qualified professional when needed before making major money decisions.